Research xenoarchaeologist Velta floated through the airlock of the derelict vessel, her bioluminescent patches casting eerie blue light across the darkened corridors. The ship had been drifting in the void for over 3 centuries, a relic from humanity's early expansion period, when they were still considered one of the galaxy's peaceful species. Beginning survey of Terran vessel designation, Hope's Dawn, she spoke into her recording device, her translator converting her native Kitharan, clicking into Standard Galactic. Initial assessment suggests standard human construction, basic alloy composition, primitive fusion drives, minimal weaponry, typical of their pre-contact civilian exploration vessels. The Galactic Collective had always viewed humans as the galaxy's gentle wanderers. They were traders, diplomats, explorers who solved conflicts with words rather than weapons. Their ships carried art and music between the stars. Their colonies were known for their peaceful coexistence with native species. In a galaxy filled with warrior races and militant empires, humanity was refreshingly harmless. Veltar had spent decades studying human culture, admiring their philosophy of non-violence and their dedication to preserving life in all its forms. She'd written 3 papers on human pacifism and its influence on galactic politics. This survey was meant to be routine, just another confirmation of humanity's benevolent nature. The first anomaly appeared in the ship's data core. "Curious," Veltar murmured, her tendrils interfacing with the ancient human computer systems. The Hope's Dawn was supposedly a scientific survey vessel, but these navigation logs show visits to 47 star systems, none of which appear in official human exploration records. She delved deeper into the ship's memory banks, her natural bioelectric field, allowing her to access even corrupted data files. What she found made her bioluminescent patches flicker with confusion. The ship's true mission logs were buried under layers of encryption that had degraded over the centuries. But fragments remained enough to paint a picture that didn't match anything in the collective's records of human activity. Species assessment: Zephyrian civilization. Population: approximately 12 billion. Technology level: early industrial. Threat assessment: negligible. Recommendation: proceed with Protocol 7. Veltar's patches dimmed. Protocol 7 wasn't in any official human documentation she'd ever encountered. She searched deeper, finding more fragments, dozens of worlds, hundreds of species, all with the same cold clinical assessments. The ship's medical bay provided the next shock. The equipment wasn't designed for human physiology. It was designed for dozens of different alien species. Surgical tools, stasis pods, and what appeared to be genetic sampling devices were arranged with mechanical precision. "This can't be right," Veltar whispered, her confidence in human benevolence wavering. The peaceful explorers she'd studied for decades didn't build ships equipped for xenobiology experimentation. In the ship's cargo hold, she found them. Stasis pods. Hundreds of them, arranged in perfect rows like some macabre collection. Each pod contained a perfectly preserved alien specimen representatives from dozens of species, some of which the collective believed had gone extinct through natural causes centuries ago. Veltar approached one pod with trembling appendages. Inside was a Zephyrian female, her crystalline features frozen in an expression of terror. A data tag attached to the pod read Specimen 1247. Neural pattern extracted successfully. Genetic material viable for Project Genesis. "No," Veltar breathed, but the evidence was undeniable. She moved through the collection, finding members of the Alterian Republic, the Centauri Collective, the Vegan Confederacy, all civilizations that had mysteriously chosen isolation or suffered natural disasters during humanity's early expansion period. In the ship's command center, she found the final piece of the puzzle. Captain Sarah Chen's personal logs were intact, protected by quantum encryption, that had finally degraded enough for Veltar to access. The woman's face appeared on the holographic display, her expression carrying none of the warmth and compassion that characterized the humans Veltar had known. Personal log, day 2847 of the survey mission. Captain Chen began, her voice clinical and detached. The Altarian homeworld has been successfully sterilized. Total population harvested, 8.2 billion specimens. The new colony ships should arrive within the month to begin terraforming for human Phase 2 expansion. Veltar watched in horror as more logs played, revealing the systematic elimination of dozens of civilizations. The humans hadn't been exploring, they'd been hunting. Each peaceful contact had been a precursor to invasion, each diplomatic mission a reconnaissance operation. The beauty of our approach, Captain Chen continued in another log, is that the survivors always choose to believe their civilizations fell to natural disasters or chose isolation. It's easier for the galaxy to accept than the truth that humanity is the most efficient predator the universe has ever produced. The final log showed Captain Chen standing in the very cargo hold where Veltar now floated, gesturing toward the stasis pods with something approaching pride. Project Genesis is proceeding ahead of schedule. Once we've catalogued the genetic diversity of this spiral arm, we'll have everything we need to create the perfect galactic ecosystem with humanity as its sole caretakers. The other species will exist only as preserved specimens and genetic templates for when we need them. Veltar's world shattered as completely as if a supernova had torn through her star system. The gentle, peaceful humans who had taught the galaxy about compassion and cooperation were a lie. Every act of kindness, every diplomatic solution, every cultural exchange had been an elaborate deception designed to lull the galaxy into complacency, while humanity systematically harvested entire civilizations. She looked around the cargo hold with new eyes, realizing she wasn't seeing a collection of specimens, she was seeing a genocide museum. Hundreds of species, billions of individuals, reduced to genetic samples and neural patterns for humanity's perfect ecosystem. The most terrifying part wasn't the scope of the slaughter, it was the efficiency, the complete absence of malice or hatred in the humans' actions. They had committed the greatest genocide in galactic history, with the same calm precision they brought to their art and music. Veltar's recording device slipped from her nerveless grasp, floating in the zero gravity as she processed the magnitude of humanity's deception. Every paper she'd written, every lecture she'd given on human pacifism, every moment she'd spent admiring their gentle nature, all of it based on the greatest lie ever told. Somewhere in the galaxy, the descendants of these genocidal explorers continued their performance, playing the role of peaceful wanderers, while the rest of the collective remained blissfully unaware that they shared space with the most successful predators in the universe. As Veltar fled the derelict ship, one thought echoed through her shattered mind. If humanity could hide this for 3 centuries, what else were they hiding? The galaxy's gentle guardians were wolves in sheep's clothing, and they had been walking among the flock all along.